Okay, as you can see, my inner guards are now on and mounted, both sides onto the core support. Everything's in and final mounted. Hardest part trying to do this was the bonnet hinges. I'm pretty sure these hinges are off of 58. The spacing here was further apart. The 55 to 57s have a narrower spacing with a bigger bolt. So I just had to ream the two holes out, and as you can possibly see there, they're right at the edge of the raised platform. There we go, right at the edge of the raised platform, and you can just see the bottom of the old holes with the panel washers I've got in there. So they took a bit to get on, but they're on and they're done. Wiring, I suppose we'll just jump to the back and start with the wiring. Main power wire, battery's going to be over here. It runs down the inside of that chassis rail and to the Mega Fuse kit from Auto Wire there. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust my torch. Stay. So yeah, it comes in, goes to one of the breaker bars which has a joiner across it, comes back out to the starter motor down over there. 175 amp through to the alternator and 175 amp up to this fuse block, which I made a little connector for, painted it all black to match the guards, and that's two little 30 amp fuses, which is all the factory wiring for the fan control. The only thing I'm missing is the two relays and the piece of wire that comes off there for the two relays, and that's one will be the water temp from the ECU or the PCM, and the other one's actually meant to go to the body control, but I'm just going to wire it up to the trinary switch. So all of those are in. What else we decided? Oh yeah, we've cut down this cover. It clears at the moment, but I'm going to clear it a little bit more this weekend just to give me a little bit more wiggle room. I've probably got about 4 mil in there at the moment, so because you can't really see it, I'm just going to lop a bit more off the arse end of that cover. That cover also hides most of my first concern, which was the depth of the water temp sensor for the Dakota Digital coming out here. It's just about impossible to find a right angle M12 by 1.5 to 1/8 MPT. So I'm quite glad that cover actually hides quite a bit of it, and by the time I sort out these pipes, you'll never see. So this weekend one of my jobs is to run those so they can't be seen over to that corner over there where all the wire goes in, and finish that off and connect the fuel lines. I've also ordered 2 bits out of Summit. Actually, I've ordered about 5 bits out of Summit, but 2 bits out of Summit. One is the H-pipe bypass. LS1s run a closed system, so you can't just simply go from here into here and then back out and in. They run a recirculating system, sorry, not a closed system. And that when this bypass is closed, it has to be able to recirculate back through. And Vintage Auto EM make a little H piece. I think it's for the Coyotes, but it's the same size as that connector there, so which is the same size as all these pipes. So I've ordered that, and I've ordered the reduction pipe. So this is larger than that one, so this is the return, so that'll come out reduced down to this size here, which allows me to sorry, I've got a frog in my throat, connect all of those. I've also ordered new bush kits for in here and the rear, pointing at the rear, for the rear over there. Yeah, so those are all done, and I've already sorted out the bypass. Oh, I'm making a new, hang on, we'll cut through here, we'll come back to that in a sec. So while we're in here, I've mounted most of my wiring back up, got most of my floorboard back on. I'm just going to make a patch panel down there, and I have done the Newport 55 to 57 style electric wiper conversion, so that all mounts up into the dash and everything's perfect in there. And then you've got the wiper switch over here, so I just had to lengthen the wires for that, but other than that it's all good. So yeah, I've definitely got a 57 cab on my 58, so it could just be a changeover year, I'm not too sure. The other thing I started to say just before was that is my standard VT Commodore water overflow. They don't run a recirculated valve on the top of the radiator, it's done over here. That looks really ugly in this engine bay. So the cardboard over here is going to form a template to make up an aluminium one in here. So that pipe will come up into the bottom of the aluminium. It'll have an overflow for this and then an overflow out and down over there. So that's this weekend's job as well. I don't think I've really got anything else to show you. The only other thing I'm going to have to do is get a catch breather can, put both of those into a catch breather can back over here, and then it's going to feed back onto one of these vacuum ports. I think it's the one on the other side on the back of that, so it'll have a little air filter in that. It'll all be tucked away at the back there. And other than that, the engine bay will then be complete, and about 80% of the inside of the cab will be complete. Hopefully I'll get those boards covered up in the next week or two. Just going to do like a faux leather type look on the kick panels, and then I can lay all this stuff and hopefully get some carpet in and put the seats in. I've also ordered because I'm running an under cab booster down under there. I either have to cut a hole in my floorboard over here, which is in a horrible position. It's like literally right under this cross beam, right under here, and I'm not allowed to cut through that. So I've bought a bypass remote filler system, which will come up and sit just over here, so that I can fill up and check my brake fluid levels without having to go under the truck. So that is also on the way from Summit. And I've just done a little bit more on the wiring down there. So I'm just trying to get it all back behind that chassis rail there that sticks off that the cab support is on, and I want to get it on the back side up in between that step and that chassis rail. That is going to sit up in there, and then I'm just going to run a piece of heavy duty plastic rubber across here to act as a splash guard or a deterrent as well. And that's about it. So until the next update, which will be in a week or two, we'll leave it there.